Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I make videos for NFL. All these videos, they get posted on this subreddit right here. It's called DF Sports. I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. Anything you need, I will be here. You can ask me questions about the slate. Anything you need, I will reply to you before lock and after lock mostly as well. That'll be linked down below. And if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on Twitter. Here are my handles right there. That'll be linked down below, and then my Discord will also be linked down below as well. Where I give you guys a core of 4 players to play, a player pool with like cash plays, GPP plays in it, private videos, night slate content, night slate cores, showdown cores, pretty much every slate you can think of. I have content for, and then bunch of great people in Discord you can chat with. I'm in Discord myself all night long, so you can talk with me and everyone in there as well. So let's go over my lineups from tonight and another really good night. So I'm just absolutely smashing every single slate. I have the nuts. John Collins, just a random blowout. They get absolutely shit on. John Collins doesn't get any fourth quarter minutes. He lost out on, like, I want to say 12 minutes. He came out with like 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Never came back in because it was just a massive blowout. I mean, DeAndre Hunter, man, you can't be doing that. You just cannot be doing that. Just so. But really good night. I've smashed pretty much every slate for like the past week. We had more huge nights in Discord. Just whole bunch of incredible stuff. It's insane the run that we've been on of late. Just huge nights everywhere. 64 and almost 400. This was like I don't know, $1 entry into $80. $8 into 125. Just insane stuff. It's been absolutely crazy. My core today was Jalen Johnson. He smashed Trey Young was core for me. He smashed. Who else was core? Craig Porter Jr. was core for me. He nuked, and then DeAndre Hunter was the letdown. And then, if you guys watched my video yesterday, I told you guys Tyrese Halliburton was the best spend up on the slate, and I told you guys Trey Young was the other best spend up on the slate as well. So I played both. I play the plays that I tell you guys I like, and they both absolutely destroyed the slate. All right, I don't know why well, I do know why. It's because it's Thanksgiving on Thursday, but we have a 14-game NBA slate here. I am not going to be going over everyone. I'm going to try to keep this under 20 minutes. Some games I'll completely skip over. We're just going to cruise along right through this. So, I mean, this game just looks phenomenal from like a fantasy perspective. Pace-wise, defensively, this game is going to be played really fast. It's going to be played with no defense, so I definitely have interest in this game. First, I think we have to start off with a clear misprice. And that is going to be Daniel Gafford at 4.2K. I don't understand. I think Draftkings fucked up here. I don't understand why he's 4.2K. He right now stands out as the best value play on the slate right now. He looks great, so really like Daniel Gafford. I'm not going to go too into detail on why I like each player. Like I said, it's a 14-game slate. We're going to cruise right along. Kyle Kuzma, I like quite a bit at 8.2K. You would think this game would stay close. I'd expect 35, 36, 37 minutes for him. He is their clear go-to guy that's going to stuff the stat sheet. I think Kyle Kuzma is a solid play. I know it's absolutely disgusting, but hopefully in a competitive game he plays low to mid-30s minutes. Think he can get a ton of shots up in this matchup. Fast-paced games generate a ton more scoring. Jordan Poole, all he does is score. So I'd like Jordan Poole at 6.3K. Denny just there for me. Tyus, his minutes haven't been great, but playable. Koulibaly has had his minutes uptick, but I think he's priced right. Also, 14-game slate. Don't think I'm going to prioritize him. And like I said, I think Daniel Gafford looks like one of the best value plays on the slate right now. All right, Washington or Charlotte side of this game. So Terry Rozier going to continue to be out. I think LaMelo looks like a really good spend up on the slate. 10.2K playing huge minutes for the reasons I went over with the Washington guys. This game just looks great. I even like Miles Bridges even at this price point. Sole reason being he played 40 minutes in regulation, shot the ball horrible. He's going to stuff the stat sheet. We know he's over a fantasy point per minute. You give him 40 minutes again at 7.2K. I still think he's a bit too cheap. Mark Williams, I really like the matchup for. Up and down, though, always in foul trouble. Minutes do fluctuate. But with Richards out, I would expect him to get over 30 minutes. You guys always know I love to target Daniel Gafford. So I'd like Mark Williams quite a bit for tournaments. Brandon Miller, 5'3", just more of a filler play for me, and I think that's going to wrap it up for Charlotte. Denver, I think Jokic is always a good spend up. I hate the spot up against Orlando. They're really good defensively, but solid spend up. Aaron Gordon, MPJ, more just filler plays for me. Reggie, overpriced. Not going to get too much else. Orlando, basically a cross off for me. Could have Fultz back as well, so we're not going to take too much time up here. Milwaukee, so this game should be good to watch as far as DFS goes. I think also pretty much a cross off for me. Giannis is always in play for me. I'm not going to get too much else. I'll also have Marjon Beauchamp most likely coming back. Boston, same thing. I mean, it is a pretty good matchup for like Drew Holiday, Derek White, and Jaylen Brown. If you want to take a shot on one of them, I think that's okay. But no standouts here. Tatum's fine for large field tournaments. Don't like the spot for Porzingis. If I were to play one, it would be one of the guards. Good spot for the guards. But outside of that, there's just nothing. Brooklyn at Atlanta. So this game should be good for DFS as well. I mean, no Cam Thomas, no Ben Simmons. I think Bridges' ceiling is definitely interesting on this slate. Dinwiddie should play around 30 minutes if the game stays competitive. Guy that can stuff the stat sheet. I think he's priced right. I think the guy that I like quite a bit here, and I really like him for tournaments, is Nick Claxton. He is just too cheap. If you give him like 32, 33 minutes and he stays out of foul trouble, he's probably going to do well at this price point. Good rebounder, double-double upside. I like Nick Claxton quite a bit for tournaments. Cam Johnson, I'll mention, should play 30 minutes in a competitive game. Solid rebounder. Fine filler play for me. I don't love much else, though. Atlanta, so not much here. I think Trey's a fine contrarian play. I think Murray's priced right. Jalen Johnson just playing huge minutes right now. Feels like a pretty safe play to me, but not a standout. Capella, I will say, his minutes have ticked up of late. Got into foul trouble tonight. We know he's a good point per minute guy. I think he's interesting for tournaments. I think I prefer guys like Nick Claxton, though. Bogey overpriced, Okongwu overpriced or priced right now. The wings, I mean, you can go to a Bay, you can go to a Hunter. They're fine, but I think we'll have some better value on this slate. All right, another pretty solid game as far for Toronto. Scotty Barnes, they've been involved in so many blowouts of late. I like him quite a bit for tournaments as a bounce back candidate here, stuffing the stat sheet, doing everything for this team. So I like Scotty Barnes. I think Siakam's a pretty good play at 8.8K as well. These two guys are just going to do everything for this team. I mean, you see who they're playing alongside, right? So I like Scotty. I like Siakam for tournaments tomorrow. I think they're both a bit too cheap, especially for this pace up spot against the Pacers. Dennis Schroeder just there for me. Another tournament play that I do like is Jakob Poeltl. I would think he would have to close this game, but there have been times where they've either gone small or done other things, so he is a bit risky. But if I knew he played 30 minutes tomorrow, I'd probably play him. So I like Jakob Poeltl quite a bit for tournaments. Gary Trent, you guys know the drill. Gonna play low 20s minutes. If he doesn't hit his shots, he has this type of floor, so more of a tournament play for me. Doesn't really stand out to me on this big of a slate, and then I'll not play anyone else. Tough matchup here. So Halliburton, more of a contrarian play for me on this slate. Miles Turner, really bad spot, don't like it. Bruce Brown, no thank you. Now, I will say if they go with the same starting lineup of Naismith and Buddy Hield tonight, I actually think they're both solid plays at their respective price points. I would definitely have interest in a 5.2K Buddy Hield. But a low floor, I will caution there. So if he is not hitting his shots and he is getting ownership, like he shot the ball incredibly well tonight. So if Buddy Hield is going to get ownership because he's this cheap, I think he makes for a pretty good fade candidate, but I will mention if they do go with that same starting lineup, I do like Buddy Hield, and I think Naismith would be a playable value. Played 25 minutes tonight, but once again, shot the ball very, very well. Can't expect that to happen again. Everyone just couldn't miss in that game. And then if Nemhard's out, TJ McConnell will get the backup point, playable value. Talk about Craig Porter in a minute. This game, just a cross off for me, probably. Not going to play anyone on the Miami side. I guess I'll mention Jacka is playing 30 minutes a night. Stat sheet stuffer. Don't mind him. But outside of that, I don't think I'll be getting to anyone else here for Miami. Cleveland. So we'll keep an eye on the status for Donovan Mitchell and Karis LeVert and Isaac Okoro. If I had to guess, some of them will be in, but if they're all in, I'll just be crossing off Cleveland. Wouldn't have interest in anyone. Now, if they're all out again, then I do think Craig Porter Jr. once again is a solid value. Really good point per minute guy. He's going to stuff the stat sheet. You give him 27 minutes again, he's going to do well at this price point. So if they're out again, I do like Craig Porter Jr. for value. If they're out again, then pace environment is pretty disgusting. But then Garland would look good. Strus would be playable. Mobley gets a boost. He would be fine. I will say Jared Allen did get a minutes bump tonight, but it did go into OT. He got up to 30. Playable, but not much here. Definitely not much to like there. Clippers at Spurs. So we just saw this game happen a few days ago. Now, the good thing with the Clippers is if the game stays competitive, the main guys are going to play close to 40 minutes. Like, you're seeing close to 40 minutes for Kawhi in competitive games. You're seeing huge minutes for Paul George in competitive games. You're seeing mid-30s for Harden in competitive games. It's a really good spot here. I think the main three guys look like solid plays. Point per dollar, I think Harden looks the best. He gets a huge boost with Westbrook off of the court. So I definitely do have interest in the main clips tomorrow. I think they all three look like solid plays. Harden would be my favorite. Westbrook, I think, is priced right. Zubac, he's been playing 30 minutes tonight. I think he's a little bit too cheap. I have interest in him for tournaments. Norm Powell, Terrence Mann. Norm Powell got the price jump. Still in play, but don't love the price. And then Mann, I think, is a fair value at that price point. So let's move on to the Spurs. Nothing here really for me. Also could have Vassell back. I think this team's just a cross off. If I were to play anyone, it would be Wemby. Chicago, not the best spot defensively, but Levine, Caruso, both probable. I think they're all just similar to me. DeMar at 7-1 does feel a bit too cheap. Same with Levine at 7-3. So I guess I have interest in the main three for tournaments. Vooch probably has the best matchup between them all. But yeah, they're all just fine tournament plays. I think they do seem a bit underpriced. Kobe White, just a filler play. Caruso 4-8, I think he's priced right now, but has been good in the starting line. If you want to go there as the last piece in, I think it's okay. OKC, Jalen Williams is out. They started Casey Wallace. If he starts again, another just playable, disgusting value, but he'll be really low usage. But the guy that I really like here, and I know this game environment isn't great, like Chicago plays disgustingly slow, but sign me up for sub 10K SGA. I think this price point is just absurd. I don't know why he's sub 10K, so really like SGA at the top here. Just too cheap. And then, with no Jalen Williams, Giddey will get an uptick in usage. Don't love the price point, though. Chet, don't love the price, but we do know he has a ceiling, so he's always intriguing for tournaments for me. The value, I think Lou Dort's fine. Has city shots to reach value, but he is a good defender. Can get those defensive stats. I don't mind him at 4.7 now that the price point has come down. We don't have a ton of value as the slate stands right now, but I'm sure better value will open up. But I don't mind Dort. Joe should play low 20s minutes in a competitive game. Reasonable value. I think I prefer Dort at a similar price point. All right, so back to this game. I really like this game for tournaments once again. Keegan Murray's questionable. Dort is questionable. Everyone else questionable. If everyone is in, I like Sabonis quite a bit for tournaments. I like Fox for tournaments. I probably wouldn't be playing anyone else. Now, if everyone else is out again, I would assume they start Kessler Edwards. He would be fine. Going to be really low usage in the starting lineup, but he would definitely be playable at the flat min price. I would like him for value. Like Sabonis, like Fox, and then it would be more usage in minutes for guys like Monk, Herter, Barnes. I think they would be more in play, but no standouts there. It would just be Kessler Edwards, Domantas Sabonis, and De'Aaron Fox there. And then I'm really high on Zion once again. He was a core play for me last slate. Same spot here going up against Sacramento. I pray to God that Sacramento can keep this game close because I just love this spot here for Zion. Pace up spot. Zion thrives in pace-up spots. It's just a great spot for Zion. I really, really like Zion once again for tournaments tomorrow. Ingram's fine, but I prefer Zion. Jonas has been getting the minutes of late. If you think he continues to play around 30 minutes, then I still think he's interesting for tournaments. We do have, Alvarado back. Kind of hurts Dyson and Hawkins a little bit. I think they're both priced right now. And then Najee Marshall smashed in the blowout last game, so probably wouldn't go there. All right, Sixers. So not the best spot. I think the Sixers are basically kind of a cross-off for me. If you want to go to Embiid for tournaments, that's fine. Tyrese Maxey's priced right. Harris is overpriced. Melton's priced right. There just isn't much here. Same with Minnesota. Now, I will mention Jaden McDaniels is out. I would assume NAW would move into the starting lineup. Assuming he does, I actually do like him quite a bit for value. Not going to be high usage, but I would think we get around 30 minutes. He's not scared to shoot the ball when he's out there, so he still clearly has a ceiling. So if he does start, I do like NAW for value. Slow mo probably gets low 20s minutes, always a playable value, but like I said, I'm sure we'll find some better value. Conley not going to play him on this big of a slate. Hate the spot for Gobert. I will say Cat and Ant do seem a bit underpriced, but once again, not the best of spots. But if I were to play one, I do think Ant looks solid. This price point is just too cheap in my opinion. So like Ant, like Cat, like NAW, assuming he does start. All right, Memphis. So Smart, Tillman, Kennard all out. We'll see what they do with the starting lineup. I would assume Aldama starts once again. They could do a number of things with whoever starts at the point, but let's go over it from the top. I think Bane, Jaren both look good. Sub 8K Jaren does look a bit intriguing. I know he's been god awful, but he'll probably be low owned. We do know he still has 50 fantasy point upside. Good defender, get block steals too. So I'm intrigued by Jaren for tournaments. I think Bane is just much safer. Also being a lot more aggressive and going to shoot the ball 20 times. I think he has a higher ceiling and obviously safer with the not being as foul prone. Aldama I still like, even at this price point. Good point per minute guy, just playing huge minutes right now. Definitely, these games are definitely a bit of an outlier, obviously, but you keep giving him close to 40 minutes a game. I still like him at 6.1K. And then we'll see who starts. Like, I think Biyombo is a bit too cheap. We know when Tillman's out, he will play mid 30s minutes. So I do like me some Biyombo. And then we'll see who they start at the point. Like, here we go. If they start Gilliard, I mean, I'll be so mad. I played him this one game. He just gets benched. If they start Conchar, you can go to Conchar. He would be a solid value. We'll see. They could start Derrick Rose. We have Derrick Rose back. It kind of just muddies everything up. We'll see. They have a ton of guard. We'll see. Houston. So once again, I'm pretty high on Alperen Sengun. The Rockets are just running an extremely tight rotation right now. So Fred VanVleet, Sengun, I think look like very solid plays in the mid-range. They're both just playing 40 minutes a game right now. Both have incredibly high floors, so I really like Sengun. I really like Fred VanVleet. Jalen Green, meh. Jabari, meh. Dylan Brooks, nah. Think we'll have better value. Tari Eason, don't think we need to go there on this slate. Jayshawn Tate should get low 20s minutes, reasonable. And Aaron Holiday just randomly nuked last game, closed over Jalen Green as well. I was so tilted because Aaron Holiday nuked me in Showdown. Utah, Portland, so I would hope this game would stay close, but Markin and I have interested in at 8.7K. I think he's just fine. Not my favorite play, but fine. Clarkson, I like his ceiling after having a bad game tonight, also playing huge minutes. But the thing with Clarkson is they can go with a hot hand at sometimes. Like they can go to THT, they can go to Sexton. So there's a bit of risk with him, but I do like his ceiling. The guy that I like once again here is going to be John Collins. I really like the spot for him. I still think 6.7K is a reasonable price tag. So I really like John Collins for tournaments. Keontae George is playable. Guy can't hit the broadside of a barn, but has a pretty high floor. And then THT, Sexton, they're both reasonable. I think I prefer the price point on Sexton. So I would assume Brogdon misses tomorrow. It's a back-to-back. So assuming that is, if he's in, I'll just stay away from this team. But if he's out, then I do like this team. Skylar Mays at 6'4" would be too cheap. I would really like him. DeAndre Ayton already like. Jeremy Grant, I would like his ceiling. Shaden Sharp's fine. Kamara, I guess, is playable. And then I probably wouldn't go to like the Jabaris, etc. on this type of slate. So I would like this Portland team if Brogdon is out. Whew, I've been talking forever. Last set of games here, guys. Warriors at Phoenix. Not much here. Steph, 9.3K. Does seem a bit too cheap, so I definitely am intrigued by Steph for tournaments. No Draymond, so you're going to get Chris Paul starting, also playing huge minutes. Has a pretty high floor, just reasonable. Clay, 5.8K. Guy's been god awful, but he is cheap. Fine for tournaments. Kevon Looney at 5.6K. Not playing a ton of minutes. Hard to go there. Wiggins, fair play. Pods, no thank you. Phoenix, we'll keep an eye on if they uptick in Booker's minutes. Now, if they uptick his minutes, then I like him. But if he's only going to play 30 minutes a game, hard to go there. Kevin Durant, much safer right now. Don't love the price point, though. Nurkic, minutes all over the place. More of a tournament play for me. Eric Gordon, Grayson, you couldn't pay me to play either of them on this slate. All right, Dallas at Lakers. So it's a smash spot here for the guards. I think Luka and Kyrie both look good. I think Kyrie's easier to get to, but I like both here at the top. Figuring out the rest of this rotation is disgusting, so it'll be a stay away from me and then the Lakers. I would assume LeBron plays here on a back-to-back, so I like AD. I like LeBron. AD should just be able to feast here. I think AD is one of my favorite spend-ups on the slate right now. I really like AD tomorrow. LeBron's fine too. D'Lo's priced right, Reeves priced right, and then we have Reddish out, so we will see. I believe Christie, I want to say, started the second half or came in for him. If he starts, I actually do like him for value quite a bit. Keep an eye on that there, and then it's also a boost for guys like Rui, Prince. They become more in play, but yeah, keep it on the starting lineup. If Christie starts, I actually do like me some Christie quite a bit for value. Not going to be high usage in that lineup, but he's min price. I would expect decent minutes there. So that's going to wrap it up for the slate, guys. Hope you guys had a good night tonight, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.